This is the North Channel from my cabin on Manitoulin Island. From here I can see the reef that turned Jim Huffman's life into a waking nightmare. How he survived is a story of remarkable courage and will. A double story of survival, in fact, once from the waves, once from grief and guilt. In August 1965, the 26-foot cabin cruiser Rue wrecked out there. On board were Jim and wife Shirley, their wee girls Catherine and Karen, and friends Wynne and Bonnie Rydland. Bonnie was at the wheel.
Well, we had gone out a few weekends before that, but this was going to be an extended period. So we had done all the theoretical things, all the things we needed to do. I was about to work. I thought we were finding a patch that was going to be useful, and we hit the big one. And I mean, it took the motor.
But they stayed stuck as the sun set on calm seas. Next morning, a storm blew up, bashing the Rue, tearing out her inboard engine and ending hope of a passing boat. So they abandoned ship, making for my shore, which was then nothing but bush. They never had a chance. The current carried them away. Karen, just 3, died within an hour, and Catherine, 5, in their parents' arms.
Later in the night, and we could see that it was going to be a problem, so I think that's the time that we gave up. We knew Karen had died, we knew that Catherine was, and Catherine particularly was aware.
But the nightmare was far from over. Shirley was hysterical, crying in Jim's arms in the waves with their lifeless girls. They were too good to be true, she cried. Then Shirley died, too, of exposure and a broken heart. Then Wynne. Jim and Bonnie had to make a decision. Die with their loved ones or cut loose the rope that connected them and try to live.
Yeah.
You can imagine.
Yeah. It's basically no decision. I mean, everything is laid out in front of you, and you've done everything you can. You know that you can't do anything more because it's still going to be not enough.
Finally, after 16 hours adrift, the current cast them onto tiny Gooseberry Island. Berry pickers went for help. This is the first time Jim Huffman has talked publicly about that horrible weekend. He hasn't told his new family much either. But remarkably, he has turned unimaginable tragedy into triumph, earning renown as a high school guidance teacher and as a grief and suicide counselor. He has terrible dreams, made worse at age 77 by Parkinson's disease. And part of him will always be in that water, helpless as his family and friend died. But he's paid off his survivor's guilt and then some by saving many others.
I was placing blame. I was trying to find blame. Guilt. Guilt is the number one thing that I recognize. I had it myself, and you never get it. Sometimes I get very mad. I wonder why things turn out now the way they do, and a lot of people tend to make their quest, like why do they do this? Why go out on Georgia Bay when you know how dangerous it is, and you can go, I don't know, across the Peely Island or something.
But that's, yeah.
I know there's no answer. There is none, and if you try to put too much answer to it, I think you can put yourself into real trouble. I do this with the tears every time.
Do it with?
With the tears.
Yeah.
But that's not that important. And it doesn't hurt. Doesn't hurt that much. used to hurt a lot more.
Mike Strobel for the Toronto Sun.